You know what I mean?
Nope.
Because of how much you know about something, you almost feel like you've seen it.
Yeah. It's like Harry
So
Potter.
I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch horror movies. I don't like them. And so, but I'm really interested in the plot lines. Like, I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't need to go through all the
So you just read the script?
Nah, I'm a big Wikipedia horror fan.
Do they just list the plot?
Yeah. It's like reading coverage.
Is it just bullet points?
Nah, it's not bullets, but it's like a few paragraphs. It's like
Karen is killed by Jason. Jason in return. I don't know. I feel like it would just be really easy to just like bullet point it.
It essentially is. I mean, it's in like prose format, but it's not.
Okay. Good
yeah,
Wikipedia.
it's basically it's like a one sheet of coverage on the plot, and so it's like I just kind of want to know the story for like pop culture reasons.
Oh, I totally
like
get
I
it.
just want to know so that I'm not the idiot who doesn't know what happens.
That's like me in all like major films. I don't watch movies.
Oh man, that's fascinating to me.
Yeah. Well,
you don't watch any movies?
I have a hard time watching movies. Documentaries for sure. Love documentaries. It came because it's like growing up, I wasn't really allowed to watch movies or television or video games and stuff.
You weren't allowed to?
It was highly regulated.
I don't normally do this with someone that I feel like I know as well as I know you, but let's go back, baby. Let's do it. Let's treat you like someone I don't know super well.
Okay.
And
cool,
I'll ask you my only stock question, which is
God.
I do know the answer to this, but it'll get us started, which is where are you from?
Spring, Texas.
And that's outside of
Houston, Texas. So Spring.
You mostly tell people you're from Houston? How's that go?
Yeah, well, it depends.
Like I'm from Round Rock, but I'm from Austin.
I'll generally say it depends on where I am in the world.
Right.
If I'm traveling and outside the country, I'll just say Texas, and that usually gets a response. Typically, 9 out of 10 times they say, Jesus and guns. I'm like, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
You're on some of the money.
Jesus and guns. And then if they're older, they're like, George W. Bush. I'm like, yep, that too.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but Spring, Texas sounds a lot more.
Sounds like you run into lots of like dumb people.
I
know what I mean? Who are like, I can only I do word association with any state that I encounter.
But at the same time, if you're from northern Argentina and you know that, it's pretty cultured, right?
Okay, so that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not running into people in Kansas
from Louisiana. You're like, George Bush. Like, yeah, that
okay.
too. Yeah. No.
So that context.
But
so you're originally from Spring, which is that like a suburb? Is that like a rural town? Or
it sounds rural. Spring.
It does sound
Spring, Texas sounds rural. Rural. That's for sure. Rural. Yeah, exactly. I mean, growing up, there was a lot more cow pastures and land that's now all developed to strip malls. Now it's mostly concrete strip malls and like Cheddar's and really terribly disgusting chain restaurants. I've actually never been in Cheddar's, but
I like Cheddar's.
I've
Dude.
never
Cheddar's
been.
is dope.
It just seems like everything I would hate about chain restaurants, but
it's also like I really like chain restaurants. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm a chain restaurant guy,
for sure.
100%.
So
I like things I can rely on.
Yeah.
I like to have things that are very similar looking to the last thing I had when I was here.
If you're going to be spending money, you want to know it's a good investment, and familiarity does lead to good investments.
I'm not a big food risk taker.
Exactly.
I'm not that guy.
I'll take risk on food if I'm not financially invested in it. If paying for
I'll let you give me a really expensive version of a thing I already like.
Okay, yeah.
That I wouldn't get for myself.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna try some. I did one time have crab Napoleon. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's crab that comes in chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's crab.
That's
Neapolitan.
That's what you're gonna get from me.
Dude. Okay, so I had some.
I have no idea what it is.
And I don't know what it is.
Is it just very crab that's short in stature?
I don't really remember,
you have no idea?
Man.
Okay.
I couldn't really understand what it was or how it was put together. It was a real mystery. It was the most expensive entree I've ever had in my life.
How much was it?
I don't remember the exact cost, but I remember the cost of our total bill for the night.
Yeah.
And there were 6 of us. And it was...
Was there a comma involved?
There was a comfortable 4-figure situation.
Woo!
A lot of it was wine.
Yeah.
And it was on a very big corporate company that we worked at.
Helps.
And we brought them in a lot of revenue. And we were having a holiday party. And our department was only 6 people.
Okay.
So we spent our holiday party money on one dinner altogether. instead of like throwing some party at an office like you would if you had like
like
20
catering
people
and
or
stuff
something
and-
like that. We instead were just like, let's
Just
all
drop
just
it
go
on
to
one
a-
table, one nice
Yep.
dinner.
That's exactly what we did.
Oh, man.
And honestly,
Remember
even,
that? Remember
even though
dinners?
yeah, right.
Remember
even though I
dinners?
totally didn't belong in that restaurant in any way,
Yeah.
and I also didn't really like most of the food that I had. They did give some weird pistachio gelato at the end. That was pretty dope. But they also, of course, because it was a really nice restaurant, I got like a fingernail's worth of the shit. They don't give you a lot of portion when you go to a fancy place. Everything's about tiny little amounts.
Okay. I thought you were going to tell me specifically what
We
you got a
finally got to
fingernails
ice-
worth. I'm like, what else did they give you?
The gelato was that little amount. Is my point.
Yeah,
Is like,
it's a teaspoon.
dude, it's like we finally get to the ice cream after this crazy crab shit, and we can't get a scoop.
Yeah.
I can't get baby can't get a scoop.
Baby can't get a scoop.
It was like a butter scoop. Like, you know how you get the little butter
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely.
It was like that. It was super sad. It was pretty good.
I get that.
And but yeah, the bill was crazy, and it was at a restaurant that I would for no other reason ever be in any. I don't think it was like the restaurant that Ferris Bueller tries to go to.
Yeah. No, totally.
It was like
good.
I would
Yeah.
I would have to lie
When
or be with these people. Those are the only two cases in which I would be in that place. And it wasn't, man. I was like, can we grab some cookout, some Taco Bell? I'd like to get something that I really enjoy.
that really hits that sweet spot.
Despite the, 3-digit entree I just had or some shit.
Crab Rangoon? Crab Napoleon?
Crab Napoleon.
Okay.
Dude, bro, I still don't know what it is.
I think it might be worth looking. Actually, no, don't ruin the mystery.
I don't want to know.
Don't ruin the mystery. Yeah.
Well, why do I need to know that? I don't even like crab.
I went on an
And that was,
amazing-
dude.
Why
that
did you
was-
wait? You don't like crab?
No, and that was on a list of things, and I picked the thing I disliked the least out of all the entree things.
Oh.
There was no steak. There was no chicken breast. Blah
Thing,
blah blah.
yeah.
Nothing I
You
recognized.
recognized one animal that was
I
crab.
saw crab, and I was like,
Okay.
I can fuck with crab sometimes, but I'm not one of those people who's like,
I don't crave crab.
A lot of people are all about it, and it's not my thing. But I was like,
Crab
I can
cakes,
at least,
maybe.
I
could
can
do
at
a crab
least
cake.
eat it. And I was like, and I ate, man, I nibbled because I don't want to be a dick. This is a big expensive dinner. Our boss took us out and stuff like that. I was trying to eat as much of it as I could.
Good for you. I really appreciate your sacrifice you made on eating this $100 crab.
But isn't that
entree.
crazy?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
For
not
me,
everyone, yeah.
it was a sacrifice to have to put this
man.
gourmet fucking.
God,
what do you call it when it's a really nice restaurant? Like with they grade them
Oh,
Michelin.
Michelin star, yeah,
It-
like a 3-star Michelin.
Bro, it was probably that.
yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know the name of what it was, but it was, I think it was French.
Yeah.
That's how much I had. I think I booked it.
I'm
it was my
responsible
job.
for this. Yeah,
I paid the bill. That's why I know how much it
that's
was.
impressive. I think
Like later after the fact. I mean, the boss put down the card. That's how the night goes.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah. God, I want to be in
So
that
much
position.
wine, and I think it was he's a wine guy.
It's all wine.
And I think he was, I
Yeah.
think he was taking us to this place that had some bomb cellar and just being like,
Yeah, yeah.
tonight we're getting this shit.
Like,
I
I wish I knew the difference between wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't drink. So I was like a 2-glass guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're putting bottles
Oh,
away,
man.
and I'm like 2-glass guy, and I'm pretty toasty.
I love those kind of dinners though.
This is great.
Those once a year kind of dinners where you're just like, whatever.
The conversation and the atmosphere was amazing. That
Yeah,
was like,
absolutely.
that part of the night, which was the point of the night, was great. But I just thought it was so crazy to me to spend that much money on a meal that, for me personally, of the 6 people, it did like nothing for.
You're still talking about it.
The story's great.
Yeah,
It's an
exactly.
expensive
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
but like I
You
got
wouldn't-
stories,
you're not,
dude.
Yeah, you're not gonna choose to do it again. You're not. Yeah.
I'm not like out of stories and glad if it had been out of
You're
my
gonna blow
pocket.
like $300 just to
Yeah.
have a good story.
It's like, man, I don't have any good stories. I better go back to that restaurant.
Typically, if you spend $300 a night, though, typically comes with a good story.
I guess that's a good point. It really depends on where that money goes.
Or if you lose $300, or if you earn $300
what's the
I don't know.
craziest $300 that you've made in one night?
that I've made in one night.
Have you ever had a night where all of a sudden you made a bunch of money for like something that either maybe was weird or maybe illegal or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Let's we can be anonymous if you need to be.
No,
but, like,
no, that's fine.
even better.
Anonymous.
Even
yeah.
better.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave, and then someone else is gonna come in here with a mask on and tell you about it.
Oh, I don't know. No, I mean just names and stuff like that.
No, freshman year at North Carolina, I made $7,000 one night.
What did you do?
Online poker.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that the only time you ever made money doing that?
No, I mean that's the most like giant just chunk of
Wow.
change. I haven't played.
How long playing?
It was
and how much did you put up to get that much money?
I put up $25.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I put up $25 and it was one of these like giant tournaments. I used to play a lot of poker.
Okay.
A lot of poker. Like when World Series of Poker were on TV, on TV in like 2003, 4, 5. Played a lot, watched a lot, and then I found out how to get money on Poker Stars. I was really into it. And
I was a hustler, baby.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, one of my earliest memories was tossing cards, like playing cards, into a hat with my father.
I love that.
Because we wouldn't watch movies, so I guess that's what
I'm
we
a
did.
pretty boss card thrower.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's one of the things
you
I
throw
can
cards.
Do. Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time. It's kind of like the State song I was just talking about. You have to take my word for it that there was a point where I was dope. I'd probably be pretty good still.
Yeah.
If I heard that song once, I'd fucking crush it.
This isn't like throwing cards with velocity. This is like with
accuracy.
Finesse. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my dad would set up a hat, and he would bet me, nickels and dimes on who can throw as many cards in the hat.
Wow.
So like gambling is like
you guys are like super poor or something.
Yeah, we were pretty poor. We didn't have a lot to do.
That's not true though. You guys you grew up with kind of a comfortable living, right?
Later on, I would say basically, the older I got, the more comfortable I got.
I just remember your dad having a pretty successful business.
He has a successful small business in Texas. That was not always the case. It's a very typical kind of rags to riches story. I wouldn't say rags nor riches, but somewhere in between.
Sure.
Where growing up, I was shielded from the financial insecurity there was. And it wasn't really until high school and really after I graduated that my father's business really started doing well.
Okay.
But yeah, because he left. I mean, when he was like 23, he started his own business doing landscape architecture, and that's actually the appeal I made when I went to North Carolina was like, Dad, I know you're not a huge fan of this, me leaving business school to go to art school,
right?
But you did crazier shit than I did. You started your own business with 2 kids, a third on the way, or 1 kid with a second on the way. That's stupid. That is just not a good idea.
Risky.
Really
not
risky.
A real safety net.
So I try to appeal to his like sense of entrepreneurship and trying to get his blessing to go to school. Not that I needed his permission, but yeah. So
in this point, is your dad like super like, wow, you really made a good call?
I have no idea. I mean, he's very.
Where does he stand on it? Because my dad flipped hard. He was super like, you shouldn't fucking do that, and I don't support it. And then now he's like, that's like probably the best thing he could have done.
He at the time very much was just a concerned father. Like, I don't want you living under a bridge.
Sure.
So when I'm saying gonna,
that's always their argument.
Yeah. So when I go to school to be an actor, it's kind of like, okay, so what are the numbers? Who's employed? How much money will you earn? Is there retirement? How do you actually make a living off of this? And then the real kicker, or as Nuri would say, now here's the kicker. Anytime he did his white voice, that was the funniest thing. Now here's the kicker.
I remember that.
That was his go-to phrase when he wanted to be like, just like,
you're not gonna fall for the banana.
Yeah. So now here's the kicker. So when I entered the directing program, my father said, "Oh, so are there more jobs available as a director?"
You just keep going.
Yeah, I was like, well, for every 4 to 5 working actors, there's 1 director directing them. So,
the thing that I wish I could have sold at the time, I think would have helped me make my argument when I was trying to tell people what I was going to go do, is that generally speaking, most people don't go into the exact field that they studied in college, even if they have a liberal arts degree. Mm-hmm. It's like a lot of people get like an English degree and then they go do something that informed them to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though they're not like teaching English or like working on the English language. Like there's a lot of different things to do. And so I sold, because I was originally in lighting design. So I had a pretty good sell of like, I'm going to have a great job because this program is like 90-something% job. Yeah. And I was like, that's not an issue. But then when I wanted to transfer to the other thing, I guess to my family, I'd kind of already proved by being there and the fact that I could get into the other program that they're like, all right, well, the school takes them seriously and they're allegedly the experts on this kind of stuff that we don't know anything about.
We defer to the experts,
a little bit. And so the fact that I was in any kind of anything with prestige for my family was like,
cool.
Yeah, dope. Sounds like you're doing something cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Do you hate it like we do, everything we do? I'm like, no, it's fun. Like, dope.
Go get him, Tiger.
Cool. Yeah. Pay it off though, probably. I'm like, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I wish I could have made more of an argument of like, look, it's not a degree either way, lighting design or directing, to say I have to go be a lighting designer or director. Like,
Yeah.
even though it's a conservatory, there is especially in that drama program, just such a deep personal learning that happens if you let it.
Yeah.
That it's like, man, it preps you for a lot of different stuff that you could be a lot better at than you were before
Holy
you
hell.
went to that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you could go into psychology after that program and you'd probably be pretty good at it. You'd be coming from a really clear place of like, this is why people do things.
I mean, directing is human behavior, right?
100%.
You're learning about human nature. So right now I'm transitioning potentially to outside.
Yeah, so what are you
theater.
doing? Tell me really quick what you did for a long time in Sarasota. You were in Sarasota for a number of years, right?
Yeah. So right out of school, I got a job working at a theater down there, Oslo Repertory Theater.
Word.
Big Lort B Theater. I was the assistant to their artistic director.
Did you have a hookup there?
Yeah. So my senior year, I got out of Sarasota.
Winston?
Senior year, I got out of Winston during the fall winter break. And Carl Forsman was directing down at Oslo Rep, and I went up to him and I said, "Hey, do you need an assistant? Because that'd be cool. If you need an assistant, I could be your assistant." And he made that happen. And I think I definitely know Besida even got me some random scholarship that I'd never heard of. That I think he just knows everything. He pulls strings when he wants to do you a favor.
Sure.
I think he pulled me like $700 so that I could pay for rent for a month in Sarasota. And so I assisted him on a project down there.
I wonder how many like scholarship programs he just has funded.
No,
you know
idea.
what I mean?
Who knows?
Do you think he laughs with his banker like, call this one
the
Magnolia Foundation?
I think he just makes it up. Makes it up. Yeah, $700 for the Southern Sarasota directing internship of he just makes shit up. It was amazing though because.
It's inaugural.
I love. Yeah. It's very new. It'll never happen again. He's amazing. So yeah, I went down there. Was the assistant director on a show, Glenn Ross, which was a shit ton of fun.
So dope.
God, so just the cast was incredible.
How long were you down there?
5 weeks. So all of like intensive arts, everything. Remember, I wasn't around for intensive arts that 1 year. Yeah. And basically, I would have rehearsal 4 hours a day, like 5 days a week, because you're in repertory, so you can't rehearse the same show. It was the most cush job ever. I was on the beach every day reading. I was drinking at the local bar right across the street from the theater. I'm involved in the room with kick-ass Broadway designers, assisting Carl, just chatting up. It's a very...
Were you super aware at the time at how like dope of a
gig
it was?
Oh, no, for sure. Because at the same time, I'm hearing about y'all running intensive arts, and I'm just thinking, I'm not jealous of that. I'm really okay just doing my own thing down in Florida. Also, now I'm like being buddy with the dean at the time. Mm-hmm. So like special access and I knew I had a really sweet gig. And so then I leveraged that, and I knew they were hiring they have an internship for the artistic director, assistantship or apprenticeship, whatever they called it. And so I did that. I got it. And after 3 or 4 months, the artistic director, Michael Edwards, said, "Hey, would you be interested in coming back for a second year?" And I said, sure. Just, I going to need to be paid because this is, thank you for the housing. I appreciate the housing. I appreciate the $100 stipend. And I walked into the managing director's office, Linda DeGabrielle, who only person in that building that I was intimidated by. She scared the hell out of me. She was all business, just was so grounded and fierce and knew all the numbers. She just was so savvy and so experienced and she wasn't one that I could just like kick it and like talk casual arts or like plays and stuff that I could with Michael. It was very much just black and white. What do you offer? What can I offer? What can I give you? And so I said I would like to come back a second year. Michael wants me here. I think I'm worth this amount. And essentially I think I said $20 an hour or $25 an hour, which comes up to, 40 to 50 grand a year.
That was my Comedy Central rate.
That's great. But when you're from an intern trying to say, hey, I want to earn $50K a year at your nonprofit theater, she
not in Manhattan
actually laughed. She laughed and she goes, you realize 2/3 of the third floor don't make that much money. The third floor is the administration floor. I said, I know, but I think the health and integrity and efficiency of your artistic visionary deserves this kind of investment. And
it's a hard sell, Dan.
Oh, it's a hard sell. Yeah. And so I figured go high.
Did you do that because you were cool? If it didn't work out, you go do something else?
Yeah, absolutely.
They had no leverage over you.
I knew I had, exactly. That's something that I've tried to encourage other friends younger when they were trying to negotiate contracts. Not that I have a lot of experience with this, but I do know what it is like to hire interns or hire employees. It sucks. When you find someone you like, you want to hold on to them.
Yep.
Because
if you're smart,
there's so much crap out there.
Yep.
That you want to find someone that if they have value, you want to hold on to them. And it's worth money. It is definitely worth money. And so I thought, I'm just going to ask for 50, see what happens. And they came back, and I was running that evening. And I got a call from Michael saying, Daniel, darling. He's Australian with a kind of more British accent now.
And you're very good at accents.
Daniel, darling. What did you tell Linda? It's like, well, Michael, I told her that I thought I would like to come back, but, on salary for this amount of money. He goes, what can you live on, darling? What can you live on? I'm like, I mean, if I have my own place, $350 a week or so, like that could probably get me by in Sarasota. He goes, all right, darling, I'm going to make a phone call. And the next day I went into Linda's, and she said, we can give you housing plus $350 stipend. When I did the math, it was basically like an entry level $30,000, $35,000 a year kind of gig. I thought, okay, hell yeah, let's do this. So I did that a second year, and then now I'm being really long-winded.
No, I'm into it.
But second year, a new theater opened up in downtown Sarasota from 2 graduate students from the Oslo graduate program. I thought they were crazy because I thought, who the hell, is going to start a theater in Sarasota? There's already 3 professional theaters. How can it be a 4th? It's a small town of 50,000 people. And
there's 3.
There's already 3. Yeah, exactly. And then they were building their own space downtown to block off of Main Street. I thought, how can you even build your own space? That's got to be a $500,000, $700,000 project, I imagine. Maybe $1 million. I have no idea. And I went to talk to them, and I said, hey, I'm curious what you're doing. I'm so-and-so. I've been working with Michael Edwards. And I just wanted to get to know them. I wasn't sure what I wanted my involvement to be in. I don't know if I wanted to be involved because I thought I don't want to be, getting onto the Titanic if this is just a new thing that's going to sink. But I saw their very first show, and it blew me out of the water.
But honestly, who cares? If it was a cool thing to do.
It was a cool thing to do. I just didn't know what I could.
At that point in your career, you know what I mean?
Exactly. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah, who cares?
There's nothing to lose.
Just pack up and go somewhere else, do something else.
Exactly. So you're right. I was in a unique position where I was kind of like, I can take a risk. I can swing for the fences. Fuck it.
Dude, removing other people's leverage over me is the new theme. That's the theme of my 30s, bro.
Yeah.
For real. Like in every way. I'm single for that reason, because sometimes I'm in a relationship and it's a lot of things are going good, but it becomes this situation where it becomes about leverage, and it's about like I want you to do the things that I want you to
compromising
do. And I'm in a point where I'm like, I really want to do a lot of stuff. I just want to do a lot of stuff, and I don't want anybody to tell me not to do it, and I don't want anyone to have the ability to tell me I can't do the things I want to do. So what kind of life and what kind of relationships do I have to create where I still have a good relationship with people I care about?
That's tough.
I'm able to create business with people, create art with people, and do all that kind of stuff, but still, for the most part, no one gets to tell me what to do.
And that's a tough position to be in. Something that I'm like thinking about myself, because yes, you want to have all the leverage in the world. You want to be able to make choices any time of day to do anything. It's hard to establish trust or give and take. Mm-hmm. If you want to hold all the cards, it's hard to have a partnership with someone, whether it's business, personal, whatever.
For sure.
Because, nature says in a partnership, there's got to be give and take.
100%.
So it's challenging to be, because I'm single. I see where you're coming from. Like, yeah, I don't want to be held down. I want to be able to make my choices when I want to make them for my own benefit.
Right now.
Yeah.
I didn't used to feel that way. I might not feel that way later.
But right now,
I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. That's just where I'm at today.
No, I totally get it.
And so it's unfair to tell somebody like, yeah, I'll commit to being your person.
Yeah, you
it's
can
like,
be involved.
No, because if you want to hit me up when you're upset, I may not be in the mood for it.
Yeah.
And you can't do that to your girlfriend.
No, exactly.
You just can't.
Yeah.
And so if
Better
the
not
deal
to-
is you don't get to have a girlfriend then if you're not going to be that guy. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm actually at a point in my life now where I'm like, okay, dope.
That's better than yeah. No, absolutely,
You know what I mean?
dude. Better to do that than to enter a relationship and then realize, oh, I'm not all about this selfless
Exactly.
sacrificing shit.
It's a lie. It's a lie when I tell you you're my everything. It's
God.
a lie. And I say it because I love you and I want you to hear the things that feel good for you to hear. I love you that much, but some of them aren't true. Some of them are lies.
Oh, Christ.
And so like, yeah, but not even just that. It's also like, you know, I work on TV shows, but generally I have one TV show that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get asked
bread
back
and butter.
to.
Yeah.
And you know, at some point it'll end and that'll be over. And I don't hustle super hard to get a lot of other shows like that. I could, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other projects I want. I really want to just be able to keep going back to this one show for as long as I can and take a break from all my little projects and different bullshit and my own businesses. Yeah. Go be employed for a little while. The relationship I have with them is really good to where I'm trusted to pretty much do my job. They tell me what to do, but it's like I agree with them that that's what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I pretty much get to execute on the day and make it happen. I'm held accountable if it's not good, if it doesn't work. But it's like there isn't someone over my shoulder most of the time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and for the most part, I don't get any complaints about what I turn in. And so it's like
that sounds like a great situation.
And it's mostly hanging out in the room with like ballroom dancers and celebrities. So like what, dude, it's so cool. It's such a cool, dope job. And it's only 3 months. But it's 3 months at a pretty good rate.
Yeah.
And I have to know that I'm going to be going back to that almost like school.
Yeah.
But now it's only a fall thing, and now it may not be a thing at all.
I was going to say, do you even have that available anymore?
I have no idea what the future is. They definitely canceled the tour they were on.
There's a tour?
Yeah. They do. They've been doing the tour for a long time. Sometimes for years they did 2. They would have a season because the dancers would work all year. Yeah. The dancers would work a spring season, go on tour in the summer, hot summer nights or whatever. Yeah. Then they would have a fall season, and then they would go on tour in the winter until the show came back.
And they would tour with the celebrities, or like what was the draw? Okay, I was gonna say like who, if I buy a ticket, am I gonna see?
If you've been watching, I just finished season 28.
Okay. There's 28 seasons?
Yeah, and it's 2 a year for a long time, so it's not 28 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 28 seasons. So if you've been watching Dancing with the Stars for a long time, you may go even if the celebrities aren't there because the dancers on the show are characters that you care about. So they have
their own cachet.
Oh my God. Yeah. Some of those dancers are their own celebrities. I could name so many people right now that have millions of people who are like, oh my God, and you would not know a single name because it's just not in your world. I didn't know I've never heard of any of them. And I mean,
if it's not Sean Spicer, I probably have no idea.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like, you'd know the celebrities maybe. But even that.
Oh, yeah. Whereas the actual dancers have their own.
The ballroom dancers have their own celebrity.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind, but it's also.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's weird too because it's like they're not reality TV stars, but they are.
Yeah.
It is a reality TV show, but they're not just like the Housewives
or something. They're not personalities. They
are though.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
But it's like they're competitors.
Yeah.
And that's part of it because like some people are like 6-time mirror ball champions and stuff like that. Like Derek Huff. Oh, and Julianne Hough, who both got their start on the show. You know who she is?
Wait, why do I know that name?
Julianne Hough's also an actress.
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely, she's an actress.
She's an actress. She's a dancer.
Wait, she started on Dance with the Stars?
I mean, she started somewhere else at some point. But she was on Dancing with the Stars for a number of years. She was a judge for a season or two, maybe.
What shows? What movies?
And her brother is Derek Huff, who is also a dancer on the show. There's a show called World of Dance now that's on NBC with Jennifer Lopez, and Derek Huff is like one of the other judges. So it's a whole world.
I don't know.
It's a whole world of competitive dance reality TV, and that's what I've been doing.
Holy cow.
So you were at Sarasota for how long and left why?
6.5 years. So then I was at Urbanites.
Almost all of the time that I've not seen you.
The entire time, yeah. I mean, I went from Winston-Salem to Sarasota.
Okay.
And then I was down. That young theater that opened up, I was really impressed. seemed like they knew what they were doing. And then they said, we needed a third person to help us out. It was 2 co-founders. They said, we need to hire someone. You can't just be a director. You can't just be a designer. You can't just be a marketing guy. Like, we need someone who knows the whole business. Do you want to be like our first employee, our third person to help run this? And I said, yeah, let's do it. So then, we did that. We had a small 65-seat, 70-seat black box theater, produced 5 or 6 shows a year, plus a reading series, all this stuff. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. Like,
that's awesome,
got to produce all new theater, all work that our mission was producing new theater less than 5 years old. Typically young emerging voices in the American theater. It was all either national, regional, or world premieres. So that was really cool. And did that for 6 years. I felt like I was just burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
I realized at the end of last year, 2019, I thought, man, I've been in rehearsal or in production for a theatrical production for 10 years straight.
Right.
Like since school, it's been 10 years that I've been in rehearsal or production or post-production.
And
like,
you got cast and shit second year. Didn't you?
First year? Yeah, first year, Caroline Kava's show. Yeah, my freshman year. Yeah.
There you go.
So 2009. So I was just like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I was tired, I was exhausted. Nonprofit theater, you're not making much money. You don't have any benefits. You don't have time off. Relationships are suffering. Like, all you have is your job. And so when the job is not giving you that kind of fulfillment, you start thinking, okay, where can I make some changes? So I kind of did a cliche quarter life crisis thing. I sold everything I owned, sold it all. And I got a one-way ticket to South America, and I've been backpacking.
Headed down on South America way.
I did, yeah, exactly. And I was gonna be down there originally for 3 to 4 months, but my money lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, just because I was doing trades and trading photography for business and stuff, and that was really cool. And so 6-7 months later, I'm like, this is great. People are paying me for travel photography, travel videography. I'm just gonna do this for a while. And then my family started calling me saying, hey, you should probably think about coming home. This coronavirus thing is getting really serious. And of course, I'm in like this entire different world of thinking like nothing bothers me. I have no responsibilities.
So this whole thing just shit on your awesome little parade down south.
Oh, big time. Yeah, big time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty.
I didn't know
pretty
if you
gnarly.
were like done being down there around the time it happened.
No, I mean, I was
just
ready for what I was thinking about doing was coming back for like a month to kind of like reconfigure my future as a travel photographer. Basically, I had great gigs down there in Peru and Colombia. I had travel agencies paying me to go on their tours. Not much, but basically they would cover all housing, all transportation, food, and everything. And then I would do like individual projects for cash.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. Like, what more can you want? I get to travel for free, put some money in my pocket, and do what I love, which is photography and videography, all that good stuff. And it was getting tiring because you're just moving. You're always looking for the next gig. It's freelancing, but in a foreign country, in a foreign language, in a medium that you're not horribly confident in. I don't know how this works. I don't know how travel photography industry works. I have no idea.
What difference does it make if you're making money? Like, when did that become a problem that you didn't know how the industry worked?
Well, I guess it was challenging because I didn't know people in the industry. So if I had one contact, all my eggs are in that basket, that one contact. In theater, I might know a handful of people here, some people in this region. It sounds
like your insecurity is about that you weren't creating a stable environment, not necessarily that you couldn't just keep doing it until it didn't work,
it was the fear of,
you're that businessman.
I'm making this work, and I have a job next week, and I have a job next week.
Right.
But how can I make this more sustaining? How can I turn this into a 2 to 3 year career and not just like 2-week gig?
Right.
So that's really where my mind was when I was in Colombia. And then, coronavirus hit. I got kicked out of an Airbnb for being an American citizen. That was interesting. I woke up to a text saying, hey, Daniel, I hate to do this to you, but you got to go. You're American. I was like, oh,
really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, fuck.
Wow.
This is getting real. And I started looking, and I was in Bogota.
What is the idea behind that?
Is because
you might have brought it with you?
Yes, absolutely. Even though I could say, hey, I've been in South America for 7 months.
Right.
Like, haven't been in, like, I'm fine. But different buildings would have different restrictions. And basically it was like we cannot have foreigners, especially Americans, because we see it's going to be I don't know if it was just all foreigners or Americans, but essentially they said we can't have foreigners, we can't have Americans in here, and you got to go. And also, when you're traveling, if you at the exact same weekend,
literally got kicked. You are a straight white male from America, who got shunned for being dirty.
The most privileged demographic in the history of the world.
American.
Yeah,
get out of our business.
Yeah,
we're trying to run a business
more
here,
or less,
and you're disgusting. That's what happened to you.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
Like,
oh wow, this is such a easy experience when it comes to discrimination. Like this is, it's not. And I was aware that I was like, okay, I am part of the most privileged demographic in the history of the world, right?
About time.
And then finally someone goes, where are you from? No, we don't want your kind. It's like,
man.
this is unique. I mean, all right. And then once the borders of other countries, so Ecuador closed down their borders, Peru closed down the borders, Brazil was talking about it. I thought, this is getting serious. I should probably get home, which is about the same weekend that I think March 14, 15.
Yep.
So, yeah. So that weekend was me trying to book flights home. And so now I'm back.
So now you're just chilling in Texas, bro.
I'm chilling.
Do you have
in
some
Texas.
coin in your pocket from all that kind of built up, or are you out?
Oh, no. God, no.
Are you just like living off the rents until you can get back to work?
I'm with my sister right now. I'm very lucky. So before I went down there, I saved money. I had like my travel fund, and I had my when I get back fund. And basically, because I didn't want to come back.
How fiscally responsible of you.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that's dope. You got two funds, man. Most people don't have two accounts.
Oh, I got them funds. I got all sorts of funds. No, I had money because I didn't want to come back to the States without being able to pay first, last, and security. Like I knew I was going to come back and.
Were you like 3 G's in there?
Yeah, 5.
Nice. Yeah, smarter.
I had 5 to travel on, 5 to return to. So, saved up 10 grand.
Yeah, that's comfortable.
And I figured 5 grand would last me about like comfortable 3 months in South America. You do not need 5 grand for 3 months. If you do things right and you are responsible with your money, you don't have to go out to dinner. Even if you go out to dinner, my God, it's so cheap. Depending on which country you're in, my Lord.
I am a master of the dollar stretch.
Yeah. God, you can take $1,000 to South America. I mean, I flew to Brazil for $232.
Brandon and I went to Puerto Rico to shoot a whole sizzle reel.
Oh, yeah.
About like budget travel. That was our whole pitch of that show. It was like a millennial budget travel show. It was like the pitch was like, don't wait to travel because it takes a lot of money.
You don't need
There are ways to get there. And man, he's a bit of a guru about that. That's why he came up with it and was the host of the show.
It's interesting because even Puerto Rico is, of all the places you can travel, not the cheapest. Like,
no, it wasn't, but it was really easy to get. First of all, I was the producer of the whole thing. It was me, a cinematographer who was with him in New York, and then him. And it was just the 3 of us. And so I don't have a passport. And so it was a really easy thing. And there was a limited time between other gigs that I had.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I can't go to fucking Beijing or some shit. Yeah. Like, I just can't. Like, that's not possible. And he was like, well, we could go to Puerto Rico. And he found it. It was crazy, too. It was actually the only first class ticket I've ever had because that was incidentally, because of the way he got it, the cheapest way to do it.
No, what?
Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't a lot either. It was less than $1,000. It wasn't like crazy.
Yeah.
It was LA, Miami, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And oh man, we had a blast, and the whole time I was like, man,
how long were you down there?
Right. I was there for a week. They were there for 2.
Okay.
And we shot all the daylight and some of the night.
Okay.
And
did you like hostels? Like how? What was like the angle of budgets? Like
we did hostels. We did even some hotels down there that were just cheap as shit.
Cheap, yeah.
And it was like, and we kind of investigated them and we're like, let's see if they're dirty.
Yeah.
Like we go, it's cheap as hell. You would think, and a lot of people are warded off by because something is so cheap that it's gonna be lit.
Who wants a $2 steak?
You know what's funny? People of higher class think of the word cheap very differently than me, and I only know that from working in Hollywood.
Well, there's cheap and economical.
Right.
Big difference.
When I say cheap, I literally just mean a lower price than the market value. That's all I mean. I am not referring to its quality.
Yeah.
And when you say cheap around people with money, they're like, well, it's not cheap.
Like a Fisher Price.
Yeah, I got a good deal on it, but I didn't buy
anything
anything cheap because I don't buy shitty things. They get all like tense about that.
What?
So when I say cheap, I'm literally just saying like if you compared it against all the other things you could buy,
totally.
the price is low. So you often are warded off because you're like, what do you mean it's $20 a night to stay there?
Oh God.
Right? You look at that and you're like, what could that mean? Well, it means you're in a bunk bed. And you know what? The chick who was underneath me, super cute. You know what I mean? And very friendly. And we were all nice to each other and it worked out great. Does it always go that way? Maybe not.
No one hooks up in hostels anyways, but that's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, for sure it's not. That's I don't think it's ever happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, God, I stayed.
How would it?
I only drunkenly, and people think that they're being really quiet, but there's no such thing as that quiet of sex.
Right. That's
impossible.
True.
Yeah.
I love, and we've all done it. I love the idea of trying to keep it down if someone is in the same room. It is preposterous.
It is.
Anyone, any couple.
It's like building a card house in like, I don't know, during a road trip. Like it's just not gonna happen. it's just like, not gonna.
We'll just try to do this.
Yeah, we'll
just
like try to putting the cards together. Like there's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. You can like convince your younger brother to try, but like no one's building a fucking card house.
If you could build the card house in the back seat before we get to grandma's house, I'll do all your chores for 2 months.
You're on.
But if you can't,
yeah. Oh my God. No, it's impossible. Hostel. I mean, I hated living in a hostel.
Well, we also found a lot of cool shit to do that wasn't expensive. That was a big part of what Brandon was into. He was like
the actual experiences.
Yeah, he was like, let's go to this like crazy bar, and we went to this crazy bar, and it was like kind of cool, and it was a really famous bar to go to in like Old San Juan, and we checked it out, and it was like, okay, this is fine. And then it was like, dude, let's go to this bioluminescent bay.
Oh fuck yeah, you did that,
dude!
How badass was that?
It's like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh
it's crazy. God. Unfortunately, that particular bay has had bad experiences with people wearing the wrong sunscreen and getting in the water and fucking killing the bacteria.
Oh my God.
And so the luminescence actually went down dramatically.
Really?
In that group because people were
actually in the water.
I'm trying to remember what the ingredient DEET?
DEET is for mosquito spray.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. So not sunscreen, it was mosquito spray.
That would make more sense at night.
And so, well, you have to go at night, and the mosquitoes are insane.
Yeah,
they're literally called, like, one of them is called Mosquito Bay. Like, that's what it is. And
that's where I want to spend an evening, Mosquito Bay.
And it's very strict because now they get their own spray that has no DEET in it.
Yeah.
And then they spray you when you get there, and you have to have like you have to follow a very strict code, and it's very clear that you're showing up to the party after everybody broke the rules. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you never get somewhere or start.
These
going
rules
to a
are in place because
and everything sucks, and you're like, oh, dude, what happened? And it was like there's this one kid who fucking ruined it for everybody. Yeah. He was terrible. This is what happened there, but so all we really got was we didn't get to swim in it. We only got to kayak in it.
Still cool.
But you could kind of they would let you put your arm in it.
And you see like the ripples go through.
And you could see it when you put the oar in from the kayak.
Yeah.
It was like, and we had a really fun guide who was talking about stars and this one over here. And he was like dad joke funny, which are my favorite tour guides. Like, dude,
I'm into that. I'm into it.
Dude, dad joke tour guides. I'm like,
I also hate the term dad joke, but whatever.
Drop an edible and go on a tour guide with like a corny tour. Oh man,
that's good stuff,
dude. It's a good day. Like you were just Chuckle Fest 2020, baby. I mean, we'll never get to do it again, but it's over forever.
Yeah, forever and ever.
But if you ever get a chance, like maybe like a dream or a VR thing. Dude,
I did
VR take off like a motherfucker during this whole thing.
What?
VR.
Okay. Oh, you think right now during the pandemic? Yeah.
I think right now everybody's like, let's take all the money we have left and put it into being able to do shit in our heads.
I guess so. I mean, you would think that. I mean, I
just thought of that now.
I don't see how professional sports exists with audiences. I think it's going to be VR. But can you imagine being in the front row of an NBA game and having Jack Nicklaus and like. Sorry, Jack Nicholson.
Who is Jack Nicklaus?
Jack Nicholson. Sorry, Jack Nicklaus is a golfer. However, you can bring him back from the dead. Or is that Arnold Palmer?
I really thought you just made up a person, but then my brain went, Rob, you don't know any sports people. So he could say almost any sports person. And you would insist it wasn't real.
It's fine.
But I still didn't know the person you meant to say.
Jack Nicklaus is like a 100-year-old famous golfer.
If you say
not
so.
Not a big deal.
Sure.
Clearly. But no, like imagine being in the front row and you're watching the NBA game, and yeah, you have the action right in front of you, but on your left hand side you have Drake, which I guess he's a big. Well, I mean, Drake, I think he's a huge Toronto Raptors fan.
But do you think that the whole pull of like VR,
just watching
NBA
Drake the whole time,
is the other celebrity reactions?
I think so. Yeah,
And
I
then
think
they get a cut because they come and do
100%.
mocap.
Yeah.
That's pretty
my
funny.
God. Yeah, you just line up the entire courtside seats with celebrities, which they already do anyways in LA or in Miami. Like all the front seats. I mean, you have
Dude, that's
huge
such
celebrities.
a cool idea.
So then you have the VR. So
VR
that
sports has got to be like the first next big VR thing, right?
they've had it. It didn't take off. I imagine because I don't know why it would not.
I think a big part of it is
it's a big commitment.
Mostly the headsets are not comfortable to wear for long periods of
Exactly,
time.
it's a big commitment.
You might want to wear it and be like, "Oh, this is cool," but after like 15
Honestly,
minutes,
it might be better just to have like your Jennifer Lopez cam,
right?
and
Are
your
you
Drake cam.
Exactly. Are you gonna wear a headset for 5 hours
And, like,
to
be
watch a
turning-
game or something?
and
The
if
Super
you're-
Bowl's like a 5-hour commitment.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, not into it.
But VR, man, I really do think that that's gonna. And I've told people before, one of my favorite.
In what capacity, though?
Like, well, I don't know. It all depends. I think we're really behind the curve on a lot of stuff.
Why
there's only
hasn't
so much
VR
they can do.
exploded?
Because it's a few things. I think it is really expensive, like the
To
technology to own as a consumer. The cost
is
of
it?
it is still pretty expensive.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not personally familiar. I have no idea.
so like I have an Xbox One,
Okay.
right? I don't have the newest one, but
Okay.
it's still the same general what's it called, generation of
Okay.
console.
Yeah.
There's no version of VR I can buy to play it on
Really?
my Xbox. PlayStation has like a thing, and there's a few different ones, but it's not. Basically, I don't think it's cheap and simple enough for most people to buy a VR
Okay.
thing. And then if they did buy a whole separate console just to do
Is there
VR
enough
stuff,
products for it?
yeah, how much
Yeah.
stuff is being made for it, and then how much of it is the kind of stuff that, like I said, you want to do for longer than like a few minutes. Because I think coming in and playing like a Star Wars game where you get to have some lightsabers
Yeah,
and do some
yeah,
choppy
yeah.
chop is like super fun. But there's a limit to how much you can walk around. And those systems where you have like a little treadmill and it lets you walk in place, like those are cool.
Sounds cool.
But dude, that thing is like $4 or $5
Oh,
grand.
and also you
That's
can't put that in your
crazy.
living room. Yeah.
exactly. So it's
So
like,
what is the market for VR? I mean, outside of I know there's talks about for medical and doctors and everything for
that's
remote
a big
surgery.
thing, but what I'm saying
but for
specifically
consumerism,
is
yeah.
right now is maybe there's some dump of funds and enthusiasm into like, because a lot of times when a technology like that doesn't blow up right away, or they try some stuff and it doesn't really take off, people are very hesitant to invest in it because they're like, well, that seems like a risky thing that not a lot of people are in love with.
Exactly.
But now,
Well, it's a chicken and egg thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
now we're all stuck at home and we literally want to live in some sort of other reality where we don't have to look at the same shit every day.
Yeah.
And so it's like the consumer has changed broadly for VR. So if all of a sudden it was affordable and there was a bunch of cool, dope stuff that you could do. And here's the other thing that I think is big about VR that doesn't exist right now that they could do if they put some money into it. It wouldn't even be that hard, which is co-op VR. Which is I put VR on at my house and you put VR on at your house and we get to go do
Trading
something
spaces.
together. What do you mean? Like the
Trading space is
Like a
basically
movie?
you're in my house, I'm in your house.
Okay, well, that'd be
Is that
weird.
not-
That'd be weird. But I mean, like you and I get to go to like Six Flags together
Oh.
in a virtual world where you're at your house sitting in a recliner that goes like this, and I,
mean,
get
that's
to
got
do
to
that.
exist, right?
I don't think it does.
It's just
I think at best you might be able to get that chair and headset and program at your place, but syncing it up with mine, I don't think that's how it works.
I have
Maybe
no
it
idea.
does. But like I play Grand Theft Auto online, and I
Yeah.
play it with my friend Kyle, who lives in LA, who's actually my roommate of the
Okay.
apartment I still have.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He and I catch up like every week, and we play GTA together,
Yeah.
and we run around a fictional Los Angeles where we steal shit. And it is like
Umbrellas and shit.
It is, yeah, exactly. It is 2 steps away from me taking the TV and like putting it on my head and me running around with Kyle robbing a bank.
Have you ever done a virtual reality bar, like a video game bar, where you do the VR sets?
No.
There's
I
one in
didn't- is that a thing?
Sarasota.
Oh, like you go to a bar and they have VR at the bar.
Pretty much.
Okay.
VR first, bar second. At least this place was.
Right. That's
And
their
you
way to
have-
make more money.
Yeah, basically
Right.
you have these like I don't know, shower curtains that divide like these little booths, and then you can do VR games together. And it was for someone who
Okay.
I'm not a video game person
Right.
at all.
Right.
Not a video game person. I love the hell out of that.
That's cool.
It was fun.
But even that,
All
that's
wish-
what I mean. You have to go to that bar to do it together.
Yeah.
And I'm saying if you drop a little bit of money in some server somewhere that can host all of us going to just, and here's the game that we're playing. Go to the bar.
Jenga? Oh.
No, just go to a fucking bar. And maybe they have like just,
Yeah.
how about, imagine this, okay?
Oh my
You sit
God.
at your house, you put on a headset, you sit in a recliner. In the world of the VR,
It's not a recliner in your living room.
It's not a recliner in
You
your-
are on the rooftop of a
you're
pink-
at a nice rooftop bar loaded with
Manhattan,
virtual
yeah.
games.
Okay.
Like darts and shuffleboard and cornhole and all your friends.
Isn't it
are
a little
also
sad to think
VR
about
in
the
there.
amount of resources needed to develop something that just exists in real life?
I know.
Isn't it like?
And I'm saying that I think they exist, and it's actually not even as hard as maybe it has been because there's been no market for why would I want to go
when I can just go down
when
the
I
street.
could just go to the bar.
Exactly.
Well, now you can't go to the fucking bar no more. And who knows when the next time we're really going to be able to go to the bar and do it like we used to do it. So I think, this is my forecast now, I think a big jump in VR happens in the next 12 months because literally people are like, we want to experience anything but being
Yeah.
stuck in this fucking
Yeah.
house. People will lose their fucking minds.
I would do fucking virtual reality with my like mother-in-law. Fuck it, I'll do it. Like I'll subscribe to that. I
Right?
want something real.
Right?
But it's also.
Oh,
like
God, if
bacon.
you guys played fucking Hug, dude, Hug is dope, man. It's like you feel a real human connection
feels good,
almost.
man. It
It's
feels
amazing.
good.
You
It
guys
comes
got to
with-
get
It
Hug.
comes with a heated boa that you just put around your. It's great. It's
Hug
fantastic.
2's a little off the rails, man. You're not probably ready for that, but man, Hug is dope.
Dude, when Hug comes to the iOS, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be you can just hug at any time. You be in your car, you can
I'm
hug.
telling you, dude, Tim
You-
Cook
you-
is gonna walk across that stage next year and
Yeah.
be like, "We understand.
Yeah.
A lot of families have been stuck at home together. The new eye headset allows you to meet up with friends in fake public."
Yeah.
100%.
One.
and then a
one
demonstration
more
that
thing.
doesn't quite work.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a hug. It's just like a slap on the back.
Oh, and one more thing. That's their
Yeah.
thing.
The one more thing.
Oh, and one more thing.
Who needs a hug? Yeah, exactly.
We want to bring out, well, nobody, because like there's nobody here. It's all virtual.
God, how's your job gonna change with this?
I don't know, man. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about it. It's like it doesn't help my privilege argument how well I've done financially during this thing. My business has struggled.
Yeah.
But dude, my credit cards are almost paid off from the
Exactly.
extra money I've got.
Yeah.
Like, and I was already on
From like stimulus or what is that
and
about?
the extra California unemployment that I
Okay,
have.
yeah.
And so the money that I made last year that paid into the unemployment that I have now got a bonus of $600 a week.
Yeah.
So I'm getting like $1,000 a week.
More than
Well, and
Fantastic.
and take the taxes out, it comes out to like right at a G a week. And it's like
Huh.
for not having to also be somewhere
Yeah.
or do anything. You know what I mean? It's like that money accumulates much
Yeah.
more quickly. And I'm in this situation where like, even though I do have my place in LA, I'm living here.
Yeah.
And like, you know, me and my pop split a lot of stuff
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I help him with doctor's appointments,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that different
yeah.
shit. And so it's like, I kind of did this like half-ass move back home while starting the business. And I've been saving on some bills and shit like that. And so it's kind of worked out for me. Dude, my credit score's gone up in this thing so far. So like, yeah, we gotta go. Boom. Panto.
That's a positive. Yeah.
So I'm okay right now, but at some point that money is gonna run out, and I of course want to get back to work.
July 1st.
One of the things that one of the things that we're transitioning now is we're basically gonna try to start doing something of a mobile podcasting thing, and so we don't want to go to like any location, but we want to have a couple locations that we could drop in, set up, and let people come in safely and sit far
Cool.
apart from each other
Yeah.
and do a podcast.
Some plexiglass and
Something, you know, and try to follow the rules and be safe-ish. Like, I was just talking to somebody about this Elon Musk shit. Have you been paying attention to that at all?
I've heard the name.
I've been in the last week.
Yes, that he's demanding that he opens up his facilities in California.
So, first of all, I totally understand the argument of like, look, it's not safe to be doing anything. Okay. But I also understand the idea that things go out of business if they don't do business.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my head, as also a business owner, I don't immediately take you have to stop operating 100%. I try to go, okay, is there a way where we could meet in the middle and operate but be safe? Like huge distances
No, absolutely.
apart.
I totally get it. Yeah.
Masks,
Yeah.
gloves, whatever.
Yeah.
You buy hazmat suits.
Let's
if we
follow
need to
the
do
rules and make money.
There's got to be a way where we don't make zero.
Yeah.
And we, I feel like from the stuff I've read and listened to, that's kind of where he's coming from, which is like, dude, we can't make zero. And in my plant, people are far apart and they wear the fucking masks and we do the shit. Can we follow
Everyone's
the rules?
argument is in the gray area, which is
right. That's what I'm saying. When we first started, I was like, it's in the gray.
Yeah, we want everything's in the gray. All politics should be in the gray.
There's some black and white shit.
The problem, yeah, okay, yes, absolutely. The meat of it, though, is, okay, we want to be safe. We want to curb this. We want to make sure everyone's healthy and happy. And at the same time, we want to move forward. We want to continue having businesses. We want to continue growth. How do we do it? It's all compromise.
I mean, is Tesla not one of the most important private entities that we have as a country? It's one of the only places where we're like beating people and stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
we suck at lots of stuff now that we used to be good at. And
one
of the things that we're good at is Tesla.
It's a South African in California, yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's helping us out a lot.
Yeah, turns out, he's also going to be on the moon
He's the
soon,
only
or
manufacturer
Mars.
still functioning in the state because most of them have run because of all the taxes and all the crazy bullshit.
And so it's all in the gray area of how can we do this safely. We
Right.
don't want to, no one wants to shut down everything completely.
Right.
If you asked any,
and I think everyone agrees we could do that for a little bit.
Yeah.
We could shut down everything completely for a little bit.
Yeah.
But at some point, we have to at least pop up a little bit and then maybe go back down and then pop up a little. Like,
it's all
you just
risk,
can't
it's all
lock
risk management,
you
right?
can't lock everyone in their houses indefinitely.
It's all risk management, and it's all about what are you giving up. And the problem is, what are you giving up? It's human lives.
Right.
And no one wants to be in a conversation. No one wants to make the argument that this human life is worth this amount of GDP.
Right. That's a lot of the like viral shit.
Exactly. So when you say, okay, 1,000 people will die for this amount of increase in GDP, no one can make a heartfelt pitch to anyone saying, yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it.
But GDP is not the only measure of our society. Some of it is also the function of certain elements of our economy that will not exist anymore after the fact. And again, I'm not saying there should be an amount of lives that we sacrifice to keep anything going.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, what I just shared earlier today was like they have this like diagram that I've seen a number of times that's like faces with masks and no masks, and it's like the
distances,
of like, okay, if this person has it and this person doesn't and nobody wears a mask, it's like this crazy chance that he's gonna get it, right?
Yeah.
If the person who doesn't have it wears a mask, but the person who does have it doesn't have a mask, this is the percentage. And then if it's swapped, this is the percentage.
It's like some sixth grade math problem.
And then at the bottom,
problem.
If they both wear masks, whether you have it or not, the chance of contagion on this fucking cartoon is 1.5%.
Yeah.
Let's say take that for granted for a second and assume that was a real thing. So it's like 80% if you and I are sitting the way we are right now, if one of us had it.
Yeah.
But if we don't have it, there's 0% chance that either of us could get it.
We do this every day anyways.
Exactly.
Not just with coronavirus. We do it with alcohol. We do it with tobacco.
What I'm saying is 1.5% of American lives what we should sacrifice for the American economy? No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if you can function your business to some degree with a 1.5% or less chance of anybody catching the disease, you could end up with no one catching the disease and not losing your business.
We still use condoms, even though they're 99% effective.
Right.
There are calculated risks, and I totally get it. It's such a huge
and the libertarian
argument.
in me is like, you let business owners do what they think is best.
Oh my God. And I get it.
It's tough. And then I'm like, but a lot of business owners suck and they don't care about people.
They don't.
Keep in mind, as a business owner, nobody works for me.
I totally get it.
I'm the only one who works for my business.
Yeah.
So I don't have any people that I'm like, you need to come into work and your livelihood depends on it. I'm not doing that with anyone as I have this conversation.
Which you're lucky. That's great.
That's different for Elon Musk. That's my point, is that he is having to negotiate with his employees about like, look, but then again, I don't know what the situation is, but if the offer was, look, you can come back to work. I don't know how the rates differ, but I'm betting that the people who work at Tesla make more than they were making on unemployment. Some people might not, but I bet they are.
I'm willing to guess
Let's assume it's equal or more.
Okay, yeah.
So the choice is you can come back and make equal or more, probably more, and be safe, or you have the right to stay home, choose not to come into work.
That's the tricky part.
And have unemployment.
That's the tricky part.
You should be able to make the choice to not go in. But then how many people don't go in? And then can you even run the fucking place anymore?
Yeah.
Can you hire new people in their place in the meantime? It's complicated.
It's super fucking complicated.
But I have friends who their attitude is 100% everybody stays home until this is totally over. And I'm like, bro.
There is no totally over.
That's a privileged ass position to take.
Exactly.
What do you have, like $1 million?
Yeah, that assumes that you don't need to go to work, that you are being protected, that you are being supported. That means, yes, it's just not easy. It's not easy. I mean, my dad, he had a driver test positive 2 days ago.
Shit.
Yeah. So yesterday, he had to pay. Not he had to. He had to pay $100 for each test. He got the entire company tested, which is like 25 people. I guess I'm guessing like 15 guys in the crew, attendant side.
How much is a test?
$100 a pop.
What?
Yep, $100 a pop. And the question, and so he's shut down. He's not gonna produce for a week. He's not gonna put anyone on the job sites for a week, waiting for the test results. But his question was, what's the most responsible thing to do?
Right.
What's the responsible? I mean, if one person, do I close everything down every time someone tests positive? It's just.
Yeah. How do you develop a procedure in an unpredictable situation? And everybody knows that when you run a business, procedure is the safest way to conduct. You want to create as much as you can.
Yeah, until you're in a situation that is.
Yeah. Well, because
unprecedented times. Yeah.
Well, and until you develop procedure, there is no measure for unprecedents.
Yeah.
Because there are no precedents if you don't make them.
You have to create precedents to have unprecedents.
If you create that first and you have a structure, you have a procedure, you have something to go off of, at least then you can go. But this is so, such an unpredictable time. And then like this electricity problem that I'm having, it's like that would be a fine thing to have to deal with if that's all we had to deal with.
Yeah. If it wasn't just on top of
everything else. What a perfectly
else.
Normal business problem.
Yeah.
We have an electric issue that the electrician has to come in and change out some stuff, and okay, we'll schedule that while these people come in before, and in the meantime, but with all of this, simply getting someone out from the city is like a month-long thing, and I called the people at Austin Energy and I was like, hey, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, man, it could be a really long time, and I'm going to transfer you to this place. And by the way, we're working from home, so there's no hold music, so don't let that throw you off. Stay on the line. And I was like, that sounds like a trick. And they're like, I know, right?
Yeah.
And then, it's like, so the whole thing is just like moment to moment. And especially when you have a business like mine, for example, where artists come to use the things I own. That's the best way to look at it for a number of different reasons.
Yeah. As a stand-up.
So my clients are like, so what's up, man? What's up with the stage? What's up with the studio? What's up with when do we get to do
all
this?
These products that I'm going to rent from you.
Yeah. Can I do open mics? Yeah. Can I do podcasts? Can I what are you available for? And like day to day, I don't even feel like I have the ability to give them or at least here's the plan, because
there's no plan.
There is no plan.
No one knows. Yeah.
And I don't, that's a really good way to put, there is just no plan for anybody. And if you think you have one, you're wrong. And when was the last time we ever had no plan? No plan?
If I ever
9/11 for 4 days and then we made a plan?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? For legit, for 4 days. Katrina,
financial crisis, 2008. It was
it was we had plans, and then they'd fail, and we'd do something else.
Because it wasn't constantly
no
evolving.
plans.
It wasn't constantly. I mean, you can make the argument that terrorism is constantly evolving, but it's something that in the past we were able to encapsulate it, put it in a test tube, and go, okay, this is our problem. See our problem. This is our problem. We're going to.
I mean, it's always nuanced, but
yeah. Whereas now it's like we have this growing contagion, and then you got to look at it with this isn't the only. I don't know. I feel like I'm being far more empathetic than I normally am.
That's okay.
No. I think generally speaking, just because where I was raised and where I grew up, I'm very much more empathetic towards right-leaning individuals, just because that's all the people I knew growing up. They're like, oh, they're all conservatives. So I feel like I'm far more empathetic.
Dude, the amount of frustration that the right has with the elite left, I share. I end up having more in common with people on the right than I do with people who I'm allegedly on the same side of.
That's
because I have I was just talking about this the other day with somebody. I think it's so funny that even if you don't think that's what's going on, you gravitate to the news sources that collect opinions you agree with, even if you don't mean to.
Yeah.
And you may pick an opposite view.
Yeah.
You know, and watch it on purpose. Like, say you're super MSNBC and you're like, I'm going to watch a little Fox News just to see what's going on.
I have Fox News notifications on my phone
100%,
because I think it's important to know
how they're painting this subject.
Exactly, yeah.
100%. And I've been of that view for a long time, but I used to think I was like an MSNBC guy. I really thought, dude, I'm not from those people.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of think I almost was for a minute where I was like, that's where I'm from. And it's like, no, that's from the kind of people my parents were working really hard to try to be, but they even weren't those people, which is like the wealthy left, or even the comfortable suburban left.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not who we were. My parents grew up lower class and not having a lot, and they worked hard to get to the next thing. And you don't just shed that stuff that you grow up with. So for me, for a while, I was like gravitating towards really like progressive shit, like Young Turks and stuff like that, to get like, what is the radical progressive, like, let's change the shit I really care about at all costs view. And I watched that for a while, but then I kind of fell off of that. And my new thing is a show that's on YouTube that is put out by The Hill called Rising, and it's this guy named Sagar Enjeti, who is a Republican Indian American from College Station.
Okay, cool.
And he's a little younger than us.
Okay.
Or a little younger than me. He might be around your age, maybe just a little bit younger. Okay. You and I are really close, right?
31.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're exactly the same age. We're just a few months, right? You're like March. I'm July.
March 89.
So, 88. So that's, anyway.
9 months.
Point being, I love his perspective, and I'm not a Republican. I don't agree with most of his fiscal takes on things. Even some of his political takes on things I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And his co-host is Crystal Ball, which is her real name. And she's great. And she spent time in Kentucky and Virginia. She ran for Congress at one point. Yeah. She's kind of a real like Bernie progressive kind of person. Yeah. And they have very differing views on policy, like very different. But they both have a populist attitude about politics. Mm-hmm. They're like, they're together on, you may think this is the approach, I may think this is the approach, but we can both agree that there's some rich ass motherfuckers in charge who are trying to make sure that the people don't get what they need. Yeah. Because they want what they want. And they're working hard to make sure the system is rigged against the little guy, Republican or Democrat.
Yeah. And both sides can get behind that.
And that's where I'm at right now.
With their own uniforms.
Where my big thing is like, man, I sympathize with lots of Republicans because I grew up surrounded by conservatives and even moderate Republicans who were just like fucking rich ass Washington motherfuckers, man. Yeah. Even when we elect someone to Congress who's from here and we send them there and they turn, and it's like, you know, I feel with that frustration, so I don't automatically line up with lefty shit because I have politically left views. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the left is the same. They're the same. They're not even different.
And it's hard to have this conversation, especially in the theater or entertainment world.
Oh, big
because
time.
There really is a very knee-jerk
And then as soon
reaction.
as people find out we're from Texas, they write us off and don't even want to talk about it anymore. They're like, that's why you're all fucked up.
I mean, yeah.
Right?
I think my biggest pet peeve.
Why are you so sympathetic?
Yes, empathy is not a bad trait. It drives me crazy to this day that on stage, if you have a Southern accent, you're dumb. Have you ever met a character with a Southern accent on stage that's intelligent?
On stage, maybe not. No.
Yeah.
I feel like it might exist somewhere, but even if you're smart and Southern, you have to be like aristocracy Georgia Southern. Like,
yeah, you have to be a Kevin Spacey character who's like conniving and evil at some point.
Yeah. You have to be like
no one who has a Southern accent is trustworthy.
Right.
There's something, maybe if you're Hank Hill.
And they're nefarious. But, right. If they're smart and Southern, they're nefarious. That's true.
So so I've always...
Is that why we don't have Southern accents? Because we tried really hard not to sound like those pieces of shit? 100%.
That's why I do, yeah.
Do you think so?
Oh, growing up, my father was really about just, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God. Enunciation.
Oh, enunciation.
Yeah. Just enunciating all your words properly and, hitting all the consonants. And I learned freshman year, did we have Mary Irwin freshman year? It was a mind-blowing realization that, first of all, who's married to the queen?
I don't know. I didn't take first year.
No, who's married? No. Who's married to the queen? I'm just trying to say.
Oh, the king.
Okay, the king.
Yeah.
I would say king, but when you write it out in IPA, it's king.
King. Right. Yeah.
Like igloo.
Yeah.
King.
Yeah. The not
also,
the e.
Also, yeah. That blew my mind. Also, ing.
Like pen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Also ing. I would always say running, talking.
Yeah, you hit the G's.
I hit the G, man.
You're a real G hitter.
I do, because growing up, my dad would always say, hit your consonants. You don't drop endings. You don't say running, talking.
Right.
I'm thinking about going to the store.
Do you have a lot of country family that your dad is like, you're not going to sound like them? That's what happened to me. My mom was like embarrassed by her country family and was like, you will sound not like them.
Not specifically.
It was her bias that made me sound like this.
I mean, there's certainly a lot of that. My family, I do have a lot of family in Florida and like central rural Florida that do sound like Laird the Cable Guy, if you will.
Totally.
They're actually
who doesn't even sound like that.
They're actually good friends with him. Like, not even kidding.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Dan, I think, or Dave. I forget.
Whitney. Dan Whitney.
Yeah.
I think Daryl Whitney.
He bought my cousin a horse.
Yeah. The first thing I ever wrote that appeared on TV was spoken by him.
No shit.
Yeah, when I was working at Comedy Central, I did a commercial for Medea Christmas.
Oh my Lord.
He's in it.
Tyler Perry's Medea Christmas?
Tyler Perry's Medea Christmas, Jesus, and he's in it. And they
also, I would never assume Larry the Cable Guy and Tyler Perry would come together to...
Right? Yeah, I think that's why they did it. And he was the only one they gave us to do promotional content with.
Okay.
And so we did the night before Christmas.
Yeah.
And we all wrote parodies, and one of mine got picked, and then he read it with like a big book by the fire, and it was a way of saying like, we're going to be, I think we were airing it, or maybe the movie was coming out. I think the movie was coming out.
Yeah.
But it was the movie was coming out, and it was promo for its release. And so we would do these little promos where it would basically be like, he would read a couple lines, clip from the movie, back and forth.
Okay.
Funny thing at the end of 30 seconds.
Yeah. Do you remember what you wrote?
No.
The actual verses?
Nah, not at all. I mean, it was... Yeah, no, I don't even... Honestly, if you played all of them, I might not even remember which one was mine. You wouldn't
pick it out, yeah.
No, because putting them together was part of my job, too. And also, the one I did write did get rewritten a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so when it finally aired, I was like, that's the bones of the one that I wrote. That's close to what I was saying. That's close. Honestly, it was. It was like they kind of... But, dude, writing stuff in Hollywood is like that.
Well, they own everything.
Well, and the thing that you write is just not what ends up happening.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the actor gets in the way when they say it on the day. An executive is like, we're not using that word.
Yeah.
Like, things just happen. So you still get that writer's credit, even though, did you write the thing that they ended up doing in the movie?
Do you know the story? Do you like...
Sometimes.
Do you know NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me? Okay, it's a game show on Sunday mornings where it's like a comedic game show with current events.
Okay, word.
Very funny. Peter Sagal hosts it, my dream job. And he is a writer, comedian, personality.
Name sounds really familiar.
He's credited for writing Dirty Dancing 2, Havana Nights.
Of course.
If you hear the story about what he originally wrote, it was not Dirty Dancing. He wrote a film about Cuban Revolution and a love story inside the Cuban Revolution. Someone bought the script, and then they adapted it to Dirty Dancing 2, Havana Nights.
That's what I feel like.
He had no idea he was a co-writer for that movie.
That's my theory about what happened with Jumanji.
What's your theory?
I think somebody wrote a movie for that fucking phone game Temple Run. Where you run from left to right and you tilt your phone and collect coins and
you
shit.
Jump over, like,
and you get to choose between like a handsome guy and a redhead and a it's like and a black guy.
Is it Jumanji? It's Jumanji.
And then I was like, they're like, it's a new Jumanji movie. I'm like, cool. They playing a board game? They're like, no, they're in the jungle and it's like these 4 different characters. And I'm like, okay, that's fucking not what Jumanji's about. And I think someone wrote a Temple Run game and they couldn't get the rights to make the Temple Run movie or whatever the fuck. Or someone was like, no one's going to go see that if we call it that. They're like, what if we tied it to the Jumanji franchise and we say, oh, we'll go from board game to video game. That's my theory about it. Because there's, other than it being people in the jungle related to other characters in real life.
It does not tie back to the first film at all.
I mean,
I've never seen the second film, so
can I be honest with you? I haven't seen either of them.
What?
I've seen the original Robin Williams, but there's 2 new.
Oh, I didn't know there was a 2 and 3.
Dude, there's 2 with Jack Black and The Rock and Kevin Hart. There's 2. Welcome to the Jungle.
Is
and
Jack
then,
Black the
Return
new Robin
to the Jungle
Williams?
or
Because that
whatever.
kind of makes sense.
No, it doesn't work that way. The concept of the new movies is that these 4 kids go find this old rusty Jumanji game, but
Sounds
it's a
like
video
Jumanji.
game
Oh, okay.
instead of a board game.
So it was like
and
NES
they get
or
sucked into it like he does at the beginning.
Oh, they're like inside
And
the video
in the
game.
Yeah, and in the game they have avatars.
That
so
game
like
that movie
so like
already
the
exists,
chick,
right?
the chick is not actually a chick. It's like the dude got turned into the chick, and there's a bunch of comedy.
Oh,
in
hilarity
that.
ensues. Yeah,
That's the comedy, and the chick is Jack Black.
Okay.
In real life, it's a girl, and then she gets into the body of Jack Black, and she's like, "What?" and he gets to do that for the whole movie.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You're surprised why we haven't seen it? Do you want to watch it now?
Yeah, I must have missed that one.
Let's watch it right now, and then the second one.
Yeah.
Or not.
Can you imagine like a Mystery Science 3000 of that?
It's probably really funny.
It would just
they
be
did
total
really
silence.
well. Dude, they did really well. Maybe they're funny as fuck. My dad really likes it.
Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good.
My dad thought it was really funny. And
I'm
he's
liking-
kind of a comedy critic. He doesn't laugh. He's on Easy Laugh. He really enjoyed it.
God.
But I'm so upset about the fact that they didn't spend any more time on the board game lore. That's what I wanted to know about.
Does the Jumanji board game exist
in the movie?
in real life in Austin, Texas right now? Can I go buy a Jumanji board game?
Yeah, I think you actually can. I used to own it when I was a kid.
Talk about a virtual reality experience.
Fuck, that would be cool.
Turn that on.
Fuck, that would be such a fun.
Fucking Jumanji.
Oh my god.
You can do augmented reality. You look at the wall and the rhinoceros bursts through the wall.
Brilliant. You wouldn't even have to put up fake bricks.
Yeah.
They would just appear.
They are very shiny.
Right.
Yeah. That's good.
I bought it for a very specific purpose. I was going to put it up at the club back in the green room and have the comics put up pictures of themselves across it. It was meant to kind of almost look like a little what do you call it?
Just gonna let
like
you...
an OG wall, like a lot of the comedies. Places
yeah,
do
like
that,
where
you know
they
what
like
I'm
sign
saying?
their
Where they
names
it
and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were gonna do. Because the cool thing about our place is that it almost completely died, and then a bunch of comedians who really thought it was a cool idea stuck around and made it exist. And
It's a good story.
There's been a lot of like me being like, what can we do to make these dudes who did help us out when we first got started
the
feel
original...
like the OGs?
Yeah.
And so, I do what I can to take care of them, even if it's symbolic.
I want to see the
stupid
space,
shit.
man. I want to see it.
Well, I tore it down this morning, so you won't see what it looks like.
Son of a bitch.
I can show you footage from our shows, though. I filmed every single stand-up show we did. I have every single set.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a really nice camera.
Because honestly,
I sold the clips. That was part of how we were making money.
I want to do stand-up.
Dude, I'll help you do
I
stand-up.
have all sorts.
We may not be able to do it for 3 or 4 years, but when we finally can do it again.
God.
I took Steven for his first time.
Really? Steven did it?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I took Friedrich for his first open mic. He did great. He really did.
Sounds hot.
It was so hot.
Yeah. Sounds really hot.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Well, it was hot. It was the
Here in
shower
Austin?
we took after.
Yeah.
No, it was
in LA?
Yeah, it was in LA, right by his house, because there was a place I was going for a while, and I kept trying to get him to come.
Yeah.
I was hosting a talk show there, so I did like a weekly, almost like a Bill Maher style talk show.
Okay.
That was live on YouTube.
Cool.
And it was from this little comedy theater. I had Steven on to talk about Vice.
Was he on Vice?
He was in the movie Vice, the Dick Cheney movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Oh, God,
he had
I
a
gotta
scene
watch
with Christian
that.
Bale where he's like
Fucking hell,
young. And I was like, dude, what was it? Are you a political guy? Was it cool? You know, kind of just a typical interview. Anyone I could get from that movie. And I knew him. And so I had him on the show. He did great. And then he was like, dude, I really want to do stand-up. I was like, dude, just come back here. They do them every single day. And he was like, yeah. And then they opened one walking distance from his house. And I was like, dude, I'll come over and we'll walk over there and do a set and then come back. It's 5 minutes. It takes an hour to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he did great.
Of course he did.
He got laughs. Like it was
funny as hell.
It was fine. Yeah. He's talked a lot about going back. I don't know how much he has or did. But it's definitely something he enjoyed. And dude, I really think, honestly, I would pitch to theater programs like spend 2 weeks. The way we did the fucking ballroom dancing thing.
Okay.
For intensive arts.
Like conservatory theater programs. Yeah.
And don't have, I love her and I thought she was a really funny person to have around.
Don't say the name.
I'm going to say her name because I love her and I think she's super
I want to
funny
guess.
And she's a stand-up.
Oh, Ashley, not Ashley.
Yes.
Ashley.
Correct. And then look at me.
Ashley.
And then where are we? It's like everything's
Austin?
right in front of you. Her name's Ashley Austin Morris.
Morris. Thank you. Ashley Morris. Yes. Absolutely.
So she is a great stand-up and a super funny person. And she came back and gave us this like 1 or 2 day course thing. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't remember.
I think we only did 1 or 2 days because we were in a directing program. I'm pretty sure it was like a month.
Really? It was intensive arts.
Oh, was it?
It was part of
intensive arts. I thought it was
arts,
like a straight up like semester class or some crazy shit.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. It was an intensive
I think
arts
we were
like
there
comedy
for a portion
workshop.
of it.
And it was supposed to be supplemental for not getting Gerald's comedy thing. That was kind of the idea.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
And so she came in and she talked about a bunch of like rules of comedy stuff she'd learned from Gerald. We watched some Golden Girls.
She's the one who taught me.
Talked about B. Arthur.
Red ball, blue ball, red ball, banana.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That was her.
Yeah.
Which I think.
It existed before Ashley Morris.
I think it's a Gerald thing. I don't remember.
Probably.
I don't know well enough. I won't even say. So
I mean, comedy goes back a few thousand years, but yeah.
Right, but I mean that specific expression. I don't know if that's where she got it or not. But what I'm saying is what we did was we sat in the rehearsal hall in Performance Place and talked comedy with a professional comedian.
Yeah.
I think that was valuable.
That's good shit.
But we need to go to fucking club. I want the whole class to try to write a 3-minute set and to take them to the club. Rent out the club for the day during the day. And don't share your jokes with the class before you go because you want to try to make them all laugh when you get there. And get up and everybody try to do a 3-minute set. Dude, how many more people from that school would end up being comedians? Because they got the exposure. Me and Alex Heffler, when we were both there at the same time, kept talking about going to Greensboro to go to an open mic. And we never quite got it. We never quite got it done because we had conservatory hours.
But the idea of like Greensboro being the destination point of like,
dude, that's where we could go to the closest open mic. There was nothing we knew about in Winston.
Yeah.
And so, because there's a comedy club in Greensboro.
No way. Okay.
And so we were like, we'll go to the club. And we just never really got it going. And I honestly think that just like ballroom dancing, which again, I think ballroom dancing is pretty fucking dope. And now it ended up actually being part of my career. And so like I'm actually in support of the ballroom.
So good.
And I liked that guy who taught us, Alan Berryhill. He used to come to IHOP. He's a cool guy. He used to bring like old ladies from his dance class and they would have like dessert and coffee all into the night. They were dope.
I love it.
So, but yeah, I
can see that guy in my head too.
A week of stand up. Try it.
I have so much respect for stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedians, that's got to be the toughest job in entertainment, I feel like.
And you went to acting school and you're saying this.
Yes, absolutely, because you're getting up there and saying, by the way, I want you to shut up and listen to me, and I'm going to make you laugh. That is a higher, taller order than any actor in a play, because generally speaking, in a play, you have...
Yeah, it's like performing in a one-man show called The Greatest Comedy of All Time.
Exactly. Or you're like, one night only, I'm going to make you cry. Welcome to I'm going to make you cry. Listen to me. Shut up. Show. I'm going to make you cry.
Right.
Oh, my God. Because generally speaking, the audience...
That's a really good point.
An audience at a comedy club is like, all right, make me laugh, asshole. Let's see what you got.
Right. I'll get a little drunk, but you got to do all the work.
Generally speaking, audiences in a theater don't go in there and go, all right, asshole, let's see what you can do.
Right.
But generally speaking, at a comedy club, people enter
They have an
with
expectation.
a great deal of skepticism.
Right.
Going, all right, let's see what happens.
You know
Let's
what's
see if you
really
can make me
funny
laugh.
that you say that, because I think that's true on some level. But the other thing that we talk about in doing stand-up a lot, which is like, they want to laugh. Some of them come there with sometimes the boyfriend has the arms crossed in the front row because he didn't want to fucking come.
Of course, it's like, all right,
But the people who wanted to come to this show.
Is that your experience, really?
Yeah, at a show where they paid for the tickets.
That makes
They're
sense.
trying to be with you, man.
They
want you to be good.
That's good. They
don't want you to eat shit because they want to have a good night.
That's like auditioning actors. When I'm auditioning actors, I want them to do well.
Right.
I'm going to give them all the benefit in the world. Like, my God, please do well.
What sucks is going to open mics that are all comics.
Oh, in that case, then you're just...
And that's
like going to an audition with everyone who's auditioning for the same role as you in the room.
Yes.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Well, except there's no job. So the stakes are actually strangely low, even though everyone's very critical of you.
Because no one wins.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you can make a bunch of comics who are staring at their phones laugh with your joke, it's a pretty fucking good joke.
Yeah, then you're golden, yeah.
Yeah, and so, dude, it's been a really interesting kind of different art form to dive into, and I really think there's benefit in, like, the regular theater programs. Like, just spend a week and make it an intensive and be like, this week you're going to try to be the best stand-up comedian you can be.
Would you write your own material, or would you provide?
You have to. You absolutely have to. That's the point, which is when you get up there, unless you do a character, which you could do, and I'd start getting into the weeds there at an acting program to be like, I don't want Andy Kaufman shit, but at the same time, if you got Andy Kaufman shit, like really smart character shit, I kind of do want to see if that's what, you know? But that's the thing. It's like, dude, even Larry the Cable Guy, that's not who he is. It's a character he made up that he did on the radio.
Yeah.
And then eventually made into a real physical character, and then he started doing the stand-up, and then he stared doing the movies,
and it sold.
It worked really well. And so I think
which, by the way, is a wonderful guy apparently.
Oh yeah. I never got to meet him, sadly, with the project
he's good friends with my cousin.
Stuff. That's great.
Bought her a horse.
Really?
Yeah.
The people we sent.
Larry the Cable Guy bought my cousin a horse. Fucking weird.
We didn't get any horses, but
he got a horse from this guy.
Yeah, so I just think the value is there because there's a number of elements of it, even if it's not something you want to do for the rest of your life, like many, stage combat or singing.
Like literally everything else you do in conservatory.
Yeah, there's going to be little elements that it's like, that may not be you forever. But our comedy training was so broken down into like classic...
mask work and...
Well, I was talking about, I was going to say the Gerald side first. So like classic... like almost Shakespearean and
yeah.
Well, I guess Shakespearean and comedy is like Bob, but I mean like I'm trying to think of an example. What's the fuck? We did Major Barbara, who's written by.
God, really verbose English dude.
Yes.
Major Barbara.
That's the kind of comedy we were
George
studying.
Bernard Shaw.
George Bernard Shaw, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like really smart, fucking doing like importance of being earnest, that kind of comedy paired with commedia comedy and clown comedy.
Yeah.
All really great things to learn.
Absolutely.
But that is not writing your own verbal comedy with the intent
of
getting set up and not being silent in the audience for the whole time you're up there. And what would it feel like as an actor who's trying to learn how to be an actor to just once try to stand on your own feet as far as material, even
nowhere
if
to
you're
hide.
not a writer?
Nowhere to hide.
Yeah, just you. Boom, spotlight. One.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's absolutely
Dude, it could
terrifying.
go full Joker and people could get murdered. It could happen.
Yeah.
But I really think the value is there for the people who'd respond to it. I think
it's fucking fantastic. I mean, we've connected on comedians since we've known each other. I think Bill Burr, we talked about.
I said early to you.
I still have a Bill Burr. No, is it Bill Burr?
I've got a vinyl record of his here somewhere.
You gave me a CD when I... Actually, wait. Did the last time I visited you in New York City?
Did you?
I did, and we watched a Spider-Man movie together. We went to go see the... I know, yeah. So you were living up in... Where were you living?
Almost
I met up with you for an afternoon. I met up with you for an afternoon.
And we went to a movie?
Yeah, we went to a movie together.
What Spider-Man movie did we see?
You gave me a Bill Burr CD.
That makes sense. The Spider-Man thing confuses me.
I think it was during school. I think it was during the summer when I was working in Connecticut. I think I was driving through.
That makes more sense.
You had a multi-bedroom apartment. As I guess that's not really specific enough, but
with Brandon.
And yeah, I think we spoke some pot, and you gave me a Bill Burr CD, and we went to go see Spider-Man 2 or 3. I don't know. Sometimes
when I meet people, because it's hard because I'm a huge comedy fan.
Yeah,
I am not a comedy expert. I've spent a lot of my life in love with it.
Just consuming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I meet people and I can feel the influences on their personality from
interesting
people. And when I met you, I was like, if he doesn't already,
he's going to love Bill Burr.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I love that dude.
Same thing with Max Geyser and Eugene Merman. Do you know who Eugene Merman is?
Oh my God. No, I don't.
Eugene Merman.
I'm so excited to watch him tonight.
You should watch him.
Merman.
So he's gotten big lately because he's the voice of the little boy on Bob's Burgers.
Oh, okay.
Gene,
I love Bob's Burgers. Yeah,
Eugene Merman.
Yeah,
Eugene Merman. Is a weird comedian.
I mean, his character is weird. I mean, I know Bob's Burgers better than I thought I ever would because my nieces that I watch right now watch them like
great fucking show,
10 hours a day. It's ridiculous.
Great show.
I've watched every episode 5 times now.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's really good. It's really well written. The music is really good. Yada yada yada.
Yeah,
but the cast is this kind of like hipster Brooklyn group of comics, like Kristen Schaal and Dan Mintz and Eugene Merman and
H. John Benjamin,
of course H. John Benjamin and Andy Kindler, and there's so many people on that show that are so good. But Eugene Merman is a very strange comedian, like an avant-garde. Like I can imagine.
Does his character like reflect his
a little bit
stand-up? Okay, cool.
In that weirdness,
and
he's a weird kid on that show. It's very
absolutely.
much in that vein. Like,
if there's a connection at all in the material, I would love to watch it.
I absolutely suggest it. I'll before you leave, I'll give you some titles of albums to look into.
Yeah.
And I remember when I met Max, I was like, "Do you know who Eugene Merman is?" And he was like, "I don't think so." And I was like, I know your new favorite comedian.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just good at that. I can tell by their sensibilities.
Max was a born comedian writer. The guy should write comedy all day, every day.
And in a weird kind of, not just
in
weird.
his own brand.
Like, almost in like a way where he kind of wants to upset you with weirdness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
because he's always going to be more comfortable in his weirdness than you are.
Right.
And he's going to capitalize on it.
Yeah. And he's not uncomfortable because you are.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference in most people.
Most
people are like, oh, if you're uncomfortable, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know? And he's more like, what's your problem?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think, and if I remember correctly, he ended up being, I was right. He really enjoyed it. It's strange. When I met Dave Thomas Brown, I was like, there's something about this guy that is like so familiar to me in his sense of humor.
Oh, what was it?
He was very witty and very like commentary funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, hey, Dave, have you ever watched Mystery Science Theater 3000? And he goes, I've seen every single episode.
Does not surprise
me. I was like, boom, there it is.
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things is trying to guess their favorite comics. And what I love is when I'm like, do you know this person?
You're like, that's my favorite guy. Yeah.
That's good. But even better is like, no, I don't. And I'm like,
no idea. Yeah.
You're going to love it.
Did I tell you I went to go see Book of Mormon a year ago in New York?
How was he?
Well, I didn't know he was in it.
Really?
So yeah, I helped move up a friend of mine.
I never got to see it.
I helped move a friend from Sarasota to Queens into Brooklyn, and she's like, I really want to see a Broadway show. What do you recommend? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really up to date with the theater scene in New York. Honestly, let's find something that is really popular because I never see the big shows. I'm not one to go to New York and go, let's go see Wicked. Let's go see Lion King. She goes, well, we have $100 ticket to Book of Mormon tonight. I said, fuck it, let's do it. I'll spend $100 to see Book of Mormon. Sure. Never seen it. Get there, we're in the lobby, and
Impossible to see.
And I was not trying to impress her or anything. And I'm in the lobby, and we're getting our tickets, and I look at the cast board, and I go, "Oh, son of a bitch, Dave Brown is oh, he's probably the fucking lead. And I'm like, and then so I tell her,
I don't know if he's the current title holder for that role.
He was major, or not major, sorry, elder Price.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at the cast list, and it's in the really classic kind of
He did it at the
board.
West End too.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought he was either still in the West End or on. I had no idea he was in the Broadway show. And so I just like casually mentioned like, hey Mel, by the way, actually I went to school with this guy, really nice guy, Dave Brown, and she thought it was the coolest thing in the world. She thought like my stock and my value went up exponentially when I just casually mentioned. And so I sent a message on Facebook saying, hey man, break a leg, gonna see the show tonight. And the whole time she goes, you know that guy? I'm like, yeah, I do. It turns out. And it was a weird kind of reckoning for me to see a classmate who is.
Was that one of your first times seeing somebody in something?
That was the biggest profile thing in person, was definitely on Broadway, him and that lead, and outrageously proud. And also there's that self-reflective, like, what the hell am I doing?
Don't even do it.
Oh no, it's impossible. And the thing is, I'm protected from that a little bit because as a director,
right,
you don't compare yourself much to the actors, but it's impossible not to go and I always felt like I'm very generous in my praise. Like, I'm so happy when people do things well. And I'm so proud of Dave for crushing it and being up there and not even knowing that he's doing it and just walking into the Broadway show. But there's that inevitable, that's amazing. What the fuck am I doing?
I don't deal with it.
You don't do it?
Nope. Doesn't happen to me
Never,
at all. And
ever.
let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I get microscopic about why people are where they are.
Okay.
And I don't get upset that Michael Jordan did better at basketball than me.
Okay.
I don't get upset that Dave Thomas Brown is better at being in a
I'm
Broadway
not upset
music.
about it.
I'm not upset about it. And but I'm saying I don't have any reflection on, like, I haven't gone far. Another thing, honestly, getting that Comedy Central gig right out the gate for me was like,
did that help the ego a little bit?
Yeah.
That's great.
I was like, it was like, well, dude, getting into school was a big ego thing for me because I was a garbage student. I didn't come in the conventional way and audition like everybody else did. I did a play and then scheduled an appointment. I directed complete works of Shakespeare.
That's right.
And then
oh my God, that's what you're.
That was my audition.
I watched that, by the way.
And I
saw that at the Catawba. I watched it. It was
nice.
good.
Thank you.
Well done.
It was the year before I was in a directing project. I'd gotten cast even though I wasn't in the drama school.
I didn't know that.
It was Bryn Harris. She was in Dave's class.
What
so
did she
it was
direct?
when they were seniors. It was called Bachelor Holiday, and it was me and Brandon Harris and Bryant Hernandez, like 3 roommates.
Okay,
written by Alan Ball, of all people.
Alan, he did 5 women wearing the same dress, right?
Yeah, but he also famously did. Yes, the other.
I hate that play, by the way.
The least known thing maybe that he's done, other than Bachelor Holiday, because he's the True Blood guy. And 6 Feet Under, which are 2 really big HBO series that did really well. So he's had 2 really, really big hits in the TV world. But he did write plays for a little while, and 2 of the plays he wrote are Bachelor Holiday and 5 Women. And but Bachelor Holiday is a short, and she took the assignment and actually took a play that was actually short instead of trying to take a piece of something.
Yeah, take Major Barbara into 40 minutes or whatever.
Exactly. It's like take a
or the first act of a 3-act play, I guess, which is what they usually did.
Right.
They do only the first act.
So it was the year before you got there.
Oh, okay. So that's why I didn't see it.
It was her 3rd year. So it was when Dave was
I was gonna say,
third
I knew
year.
Bryn and Bryant and all them.
No,
so
it was a 3rd year project.
Yeah.
It was only 20 minutes. So she was like, I want to cast him. And Gerald was like, you have to exhaust all your possibilities before you cast outside the department. And she was like, okay. And she did.
What does
and
that
everybody
mean?
said no.
What does it mean? Okay.
Everybody said no, or they weren't available because they were in other things.
Got it.
And she had to submit a list of other actors that she would put in the role, but and why they weren't available for it.
How'd that make you feel?
Great.
Okay, I was gonna say, I asked these 12 people before I came to you.
She didn't though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She asked some of them before she came to me, but some of them she padded the list so she could have me.
Of course, yeah.
So I was like, about it.
Yeah.
I worked at IHOP, dude. I didn't even go to school there.
Oh, you weren't even in school. You weren't registered.
No.
Holy shit.
No, I wasn't in the.
If anyone's going to take this job more seriously than anyone else, it's going to be the guy working at IHOP.
That's the argument she made.
Yeah.
That's the argument.
This means more to me than anyone else.
The first time I acted in front of faculty wasn't the Bobs. It was Gerald and Laura Henry.
No shit.
Those were the first 2 people to watch me act
That's
on that
funny.
campus. I was terrified.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a whole thing under my belt. Like I had a scene memory. It wasn't a monologue for a minute and a half where I was trying to impress somebody.
Yeah. You had direction. You had
I had
things
done
to
character
do.
work. I was ready to do it, and I was cast because me and Brandon were those 2 guys.
I was gonna
And
say
so
you were
it was
cast because you're
easy.
right for it.
I was perfect for
Yeah.
it, and it was easy as fuck. And she let me come up with some of the stuff we did. I was like, she would be like, "What would you and Brandon do? You guys are actual
y'all would
roommates."
just shit around and
we
just
played
mess.
Guitar Hero in the scene. That
Yeah.
was one of our activities.
Yeah.
because we would play Guitar Hero, and so
I like Guitar Hero.
we legit played it too. It was plugged in. We really played the game while we were trying to do the lines and shit. Fucking theater.
Fucking theater.
Fucking theater. Let's really play Guitar Hero. We could just
Really do
project a video of it and pretend.
Matt Bullock would be very proud.
We really did it. So we did that, and it was super fun. So that was the first time Gerald ever met me.
Yeah.
And then later I did Complete Works because I was going to be in it, and they were like, you should direct it. And Brandon kind of sold it to me as like, dude, move into the director role and then use that as an argument.
Yeah. That's
And
your
I
leverage.
and he and Dave actually specifically sat me down and were like, this is the best way for you to get into the program. Because once I did the scene,
Yeah.
I was in love with the program after working and doing the project.
Totally. Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do. Fuck lighting.
Yeah.
So I went into lighting design already knowing I wanted to go to the other program. And I spent my whole freshman year in lighting trying to learn as much as I could, but also sell myself to Gerald.
Totally. Yeah.
And so, yeah, dude, I was like, I'll audition. He was like, nah, I've seen you act. I've seen you direct. What were you going to show me? And I was like, So then how do you feel when you join a class and you didn't even audition?
Yeah. I didn't know that. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
I offered.
And they were like,
offered to
I'm
audition.
good.
Gerald was
Whatever.
like, I don't know what you're going to show me in an audition that I don't know about you already. I saw you in a 20-minute play.
This was pre-stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you direct a 2-act Shakespeare thing with 3 of my seniors in it.
Yeah.
What are you going to show me in a fucking puck
in
monologue?
a
or so you
2-minute,
know,
yeah,
whatever the fuck
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
gonna
Don't
do.
waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time.
100%.
Yeah.
I was like, so it both made sense, but felt, like I had,
You
he was
felt
right.
like-
I had put the work in.
Absolutely. But from your future classmates, you're going to appear disingenuous.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I get
And
that.
so that was there the whole time. But I'm trying to remember why we originally got on this, about why, I don't know. No, who cares?
Yeah. Comedians, something, comedy, blah,
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah.
yeah. Kind of when I guess my point is that I was very grateful when I was there, but I was also always focused on like, I don't know if I totally deserve to be here. Did I trick some people? Am I
think
not
everyone
giving
feels
them
that way.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
I think they do. I remember why we got on this. We were talking about when you see other people that went to school with us really successful, and I somehow have the mechanism turned off in me to not compare myself to them.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 things at once. It's the microscopic, they're not like me, they're doing something else. I'm not
Totally.
trying to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
If I was trying to be the lead in Book of Mormon, maybe I would
They're
be.
selling
I don't know.
apples and I'm giving haircuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other side of it is part of me still doesn't believe I'm as good as them. And so when they do really well, I'm like, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They're fucking
it checks
awesome.
out. Checks out.
I like weasel my way in that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I tricked a bunch of people to get
I
over
got
there.
them good. I got them good.
100%, dude. So when Stephen Friedrich gets like a great, but that's the other thing is like when I was in school, and part of knowing you're going into directing the whole time changes the way you think about it in the competitive nature of the acting program, because at no point are you ever like, who's a better actor? I'm like, I'm not a great actor.
Best scene I ever did in acting was, I think we talked about it when we were doing Zoom. Best scene I ever did was probably with you and Steven. Wait, that happened, right?
Yep.
Yeah, in Carl's class.
Yep.
Where it's all the directors doing in the scene, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I did it. I felt great about it because I wasn't judging myself. I wasn't thinking like, oh, am I interesting enough? Am I cool enough?
And we weren't doing the same scene as anybody else.
Exactly.
There
It
was
our own
no
scene.
comparison of other people's
Yeah.
take on the character. It was our take on the character, and we got to own it, even if it
It
wasn't
was fantastic.
good. Yeah.
It was great. Rob.
I thought it was a pretty good
great.
scene.
It was a great scene.
I still remember the
It
note
was
I got
it was
from that one scene.
No shit, really.
And I don't remember a lot of
don't
things
remember
that
anything
people
from-
specifically said to me, but a few things across the years,
Okay,
they
but-
distill.
Who gave the note?
Carl.
Okay.
He said, I feel like you're doing your idea of the character.
Oh.
I thought about it forever. I think about it all the time. I'm like, am I doing, even when I'm on stage,
am I doing the character? Or am I
like,
doing the idea of the character?
Right. And what he was talking about is that kind of character judgment.
Yeah.
You're
playing at it.
Well, and you're not giving the benefit of the doubt enough to the guy to just honestly be that guy. You're judging him for the way he behaves, and you're playing that judgment in the moment.
Yeah, you're qualifying.
It's some level behavior. 2, 3 acting kind of thinking, but it's definitely like it hit me as like, oh, you're right. I've decided who this guy is, and I'm going to show it to you a little bit, even though I'm doing the doing.
I've taken it, I've processed it, and this is the product,
and it includes my judgment of how he's not
exactly.
XYZ or he is.
Well, that's what directors do. I mean, it's hard for directors. I mean, I guess there's.
I made up my mind about who that dude was, and I wasn't super ready to change things around.
100%. I mean, I know when I was in the acting program, I had a hard time doing scenes because when I was looking at scenes, in the scene, I'd be thinking, this is not how this scene goes. This is a yes, I am very compelled. I think you're a great actor, but that's the wrong choice. That's not the choice. Like this scene in this play, we are not serving the scene what it needs. And I just was way too heady, and every acting teacher knew. Tanya knew, Matt knew, and they were very kind.
But that's why I was getting to a second ago, which is the same thing, which when I met Dave, when I met Alex Heffler, when I met Stephen Friedrich, when I met, go down the list, like I was like, of course they deserve to be here. They're amazing. Course, I was really impressed by them. Yeah. And as a director, I didn't feel any competitive nature. I was like, what cool, fun tools to work with. Yeah. When the new class came in and it was like, we got to cast people like Max and Mike Labadia. And it was like, this is cool. Dope. And when they leave school and crush it, it will be no surprise to me because they're like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. Like I didn't know actors were this good this young, shit like that happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember specifically, I kind of subconsciously made that my goal, which is like, I want to cast actors who are better actors than I think I deserve to even direct because...
Dude, you want the best tools
I want
in the
them
shed.
to just... Dude, when you fucking put Ellie Barone and stuff, you don't...
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of like, I don't think that's how this character is dealing with something. She would bring it to the table and I'd be like, that makes sense to me.
I don't know who said it, but directing is fixing your casting mistakes. Which is great because if you cast it really well, they do the work for you.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts before we head out? We can do another episode since you're stuck here. Maybe Zoom.
Right? Christ, God, I have nowhere to go.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get 2 cameras.
I'm trying to get a job. I'm not very good at it.
But you're so qualified.
I hope that gives a really comedic thump.
If I'll raise the volume up so it's like notable.
Yeah. Also, your bunny looks a lot happier now.
I think chilling, dude.
Phyllis,
that's full chill mode. If she's got the legs kicked out, game over.
I think we did a good job here.
Yeah, I think it was good. We got into some good shit.